You are who you have been looking for. It's you. I remember first hearing this statement, it must have been over 5 years ago. I remember thinking, yeah, totally. And then I had the little thoughts of, shit, Allie, you're definitely not there. You're definitely looking for other people. What does it mean to fully be the only person you're looking for? And at the time, I had no idea that it was possible for me to actually fully embody this statement, this affirmation, that I am the only one I've been looking for, that I am the one. So let me tell you how I got there. Wow. It's kind of funny to think of where I was mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually 5 years ago when I first heard this statement, when this affirmation first came to me. So let me paint a picture of who I was versus who I am now, and how this statement has been on my mind nearly every day since I first heard it, since I first received it. I first received it, but I hadn't fully received the medicine of it yet. So, 5 years ago, Allie Jameson was living in New York. I was dating someone who was living in LA. He was cheating on me, and I knew it intuitively, but I was not in a place to confront him about it because I was in a very codependent state, and I loved him, and I wanted him to be in my life, and I knew that if I knew he was cheating on me and I confronted him about it, and I got confirmation that it would break my heart. So I kept my mouth closed, and I just kept enjoying the fun times in that relationship. And I saw myself through him. I saw when he would speak to me or when he would look at me, I saw my potential. I felt my potential. I felt the woman that I was becoming through him. And each and every one of us are mirrors of one another. And he was one of my most beautiful, biggest mirrors. And bless your soul, I love you. And he was one of my most beautiful mirrors. So I'm very grateful for him and for every lesson and learning I received through that relationship. However, me at the time was a very codependent, people-pleasing, not saying what I actually wanted in life, not showing up for myself, starting on my path of how do I love myself? Because at the time I really just liked myself and I had a huge ego, and you would think that I loved myself and that I was super happy because I made myself happy, but I was not that happy. And my ego was really the one keeping me going then. I was hiding behind myself. I was hiding behind my ego. And intellectually, I was keeping up with whatever was happening, but I wasn't in a place to do the deep healing that I have done over the course of the past 5 years. I wasn't in a place to really take a look in the mirror and see, why was I so attached to the person I was dating at the time? And it was really, just as I already said, I saw myself through him. I saw my potential. So I kept running after my potential through him. And at the time, I was also totally overworking myself. Or no, this was after my liver surgery. So I wasn't really overworking myself as much. I also knew I wanted to move back to LA to see if, part of it was to see if the relationship would work out. It didn't. He actually dumped me a few weeks after I moved back to LA, and I was heartbroken. But that heartbreak, that was the day that I committed to meditating every day And that was also the day that I committed to a yoga practice. So that was just about 4.5 years ago, maybe. Yeah, just about. And that was after I had already received this affirmation, and after I already knew that I was nowhere near that, embodying that. And how could I get there? And day after day, I kept coming back to myself. I kept analyzing myself. I kept thinking of I brought conscious awareness to every single time I would look outside of myself for anything. Whether that was for answers, guidance, clarity, love, acceptance, agreement, anything. And every night I would reflect on my day, and I would think about how I felt energetically. Was I happy? Was I sad? Was I depressed? Was I angry? Was I whatever? And then I would also think about how many times I people pleased. How many times I put someone before myself. How many times I would shift into a chameleon because I thought that's what was needed in the moment. How many times would I abandon myself? Was I still rejecting myself, parts of me? And every time I did abandon myself, I did reject myself. Every time I didn't say, hey, intuitively, I have this feeling, is this going on? I was rejecting myself. And it wasn't just in a romantic partnership that I was doing this. I was doing this in my work with my bosses at the time. I was doing this with the spiritual teachers and coaches that I was starting to work with a few years later. I didn't work with coaches until a couple years ago. But I was doing this and constantly looking outwardly instead of looking inwardly. And I kept thinking, why am I doing this? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep looking for answers outside of myself? Why do I keep looking for wisdom, guidance, clarity, all these things outside of myself? And it was because I didn't know how to give it to myself. I wasn't taught how to look inward for wisdom, for acceptance, for love. I wasn't taught how to love myself. And we're living in this society, this beautiful, huge society that we've chosen to live in, that programs and conditions us to look outwardly for guidance, for teachings, for wisdom. Ever since we're young. It starts with our parents. Our parents are our teachers. They tell us what to do, how to act, how to be. And then after that, we go to school and we have our teachers telling us, oh, this is your homework for today. This is what happened in history. This is da-da-da-da-da. We know this. You don't know anything yet. Da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a constant thing of looking outwardly instead of inwardly. And the more I realized, okay, a lot of this is society. A lot of this is also my own traumas and my own shit that I haven't dealt with. Because I knew in my relationship before that, my abusive relationship in college, that I was so desperate at the time to feel love, any type of love, that I was willing to put up with a lot of bullshit, a lot of abuse, a lot of mental and emotional abuse, and eventually physical. And although I had moved through a little bit of healing before this next relationship, I wasn't in a place where I was fully loving and respecting myself. And I kept abandoning myself, which then showed the person I was dating at the time that it was okay to cheat on me, because energetically, that's what I was giving to myself. I was cheating on myself by putting other people first. I was cheating on myself by not saying how I really felt, what I really wanted to do, where I really wanted to go eat for dinner. I kept giving in and giving in and giving in and people pleasing left and right, just because I thought that's what I needed to do at the time to be accepted or to feel more love from other people. And I was so attached to receiving the feelings of love and acceptance from others that I continued to do it. I kept abandoning myself, and I was so attached to receiving that love because I felt empty inside. I felt these gaps of, oh, I really need more love. Oh, he's going to give me love. She's going to give me love. Great. What can I do? How can I be of service to them to receive that love? And years of me seeing what I was doing, analyzing myself, contemplating about how can I shift? What can I do? How can I fill these holes within myself? Finally morphed me into where I am now. And it really was a combination of all of these different practices, of a commitment every single day when I would wake up, recommitting to myself, to my healing, to my growth, and for me showing up for me. And knowing that, okay, I did have these behavior patterns of people pleasing, of codependency, of putting others first. And I wasn't loving that. It really annoyed me every time I did it. So the more I brought awareness to what the behavior was, then I immediately just started shifting. And eventually that shift got very big, that I am in no way anything like who I was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. And in the past 6 months, I have had such deep transformation spiritually that I am no way who I was in March. And as you shift and you keep shifting, you shift energetically, your frequency shifts and aligns to higher vibrations. And I am now in a place of fully embodying this affirmation that I am the one I have been looking for. That I no longer look externally for love because I give love to myself every day. I fill my own cup up every day. And any love that I receive from external sources is just extra sugar on top of the cake. It's that extra cherry on top of my hugely made self-care, self-love cake. Gluten-free, plant-based. Sugarless, because I'm not eating sugar or gluten right now. That's a whole other fun story. But it was really me being aware at the time when this affirmation first came to my life, of me seeing that I was looking for this other person for so much, for happiness, for love. I was looking to receive it from him. And that was the beginning of me really, really seeing how codependent I was at the time and what people-pleasing actions I would take. And the shifts didn't happen overnight. Here I am 5 years later saying I fully embody this now. And honestly, the biggest transformation with me regarding this statement really came when I chose to start dating myself 22 months ago. I realized that I was still looking outwardly to fill the holes that I felt inwardly. I was using my body to feel pleasure with other people that I didn't fully feel in alignment with, just so I could have a moment of a high, just so I could have a moment of feeling desired or loved. And it was the path these past 5-6 years, but really these past 5 years, the path of me seeing how I could love myself more. And it really meant me not self-sabotaging. It meant me choosing me over other people. It meant me still respecting other people, but at the end of each day and in each moment, how can I choose me? How can I choose what's best for me? How can I love me more? And how can I honor me? How can I honor my experiences and my feelings and my emotions just as they are? How can I honor and respect my intuition? And not just honor and respect my intuition, but actually listen to her and actually take action from her guidance. And that is what eventually brought me to being able to fully adopt myself, to being able to fully accept who I was, who I am today, and who I'm ending up being, who I am becoming. And so if you're someone out there who, when you might feel this affirmation of you are the one you've been looking for, and you might think, I am, but how do I get there? It takes patience, loving kindness to yourself, awareness, and asking yourself why you're looking outwardly. And when you do look outwardly, and when you do feel full, how long do you actually feel full for? And each and every one of us are so different and so unique that I could tell you play by play, step by step, of what brought me to here, and only some of those steps might help you. For instance, when the person I was dating at the time, when we broke up, that was me. Literally that day, I committed to a daily meditation practice. And here I am 4.5 years later doing hour-long meditations every morning, no matter what. And meditation opened my eyes to see me, to find me. But some people, meditation is not their vibe. The other thing I committed to funny enough, I was surprised I actually committed to these two things at the same time to start from scratch. I committed to yoga, and I went almost every day after that breakup because I needed to be in community and I needed to move through the healing of how I was still choosing to show up in that relationship, which then turned into an entanglement for several years. And then as I kept going on this path to learning how to love myself more, I eventually saw, why are you putting up with this bullshit? Why are you putting up with toxicity? Why are you putting up with dating people that aren't fully showing up for you, that aren't fully committing to you? And it was because I wasn't fully committing to myself. And as I kept going on this path of loving myself more, of fully committing to myself more, these different people, these different friendships, these different sexual partners ended up falling out of my life. And although it's been super painful at times, super hurtful, just sad, to no longer have friendships that I once thought would be lifelong, I am the happiest I've ever been because I make myself happy. And because I don't look externally anymore for joy. I don't look externally anymore for love. I don't look externally anymore for acceptance, because every day I am able to love and accept myself more. And so the journey of fully embodying that I am the one I have been looking for has transformed my life, has shifted me in so many ways. And it has really, truly, truly shown me the beautiful interconnectedness that each and every one of us share. That when there is a teacher in my life, which every human is a teacher for me. All of us learn from one another. But let's say who's one of the biggest teachers in my life has been Shaman Durek. And if you don't listen to his podcast, I highly suggest you go listen to it, Ancient Wisdom Today. He is a remarkable human being, and he has taught me so much. And in learning from him, I realized I felt that I was remembering. That I was remembering this wisdom. I was remembering these feelings. I was remembering this knowledge. And I realized that he is me. He is a reflection of me. So every time that I used to look outwardly, it's because I didn't trust myself. And in that beautiful mirror reflection that each and every one of us give, it's a reminder for us to trust ourselves more, for us to listen to our intuitions more. And this quote, this affirmation that you are the one you have been looking for. The initial part of it for me was, as I already mentioned, romantically, I was still looking for someone else to be in my life because I thought that's what I needed. But really, it's just a desire. And yes, we are statistically, according to different Harvard studies, we are happier with lifelong friendships and relationships that are healthy. Totally true. And we as humans, our fundamental needs are love and acceptance. But if we aren't giving that to ourselves first, then all we're going to do is keep chasing. And when you chase, it is so exhausting. It's so exhausting. So when you're able to finally stop chasing and look inward, that is when you are gifted the keys to life. That is when you are able to trust the power of your inner knowing, the power that each and every one of us as individuals hold within ourselves. That's when you're able to see the medicine that you hold within you, the medicine that is there for you to share through your gifts with the world. That's when you're able to really see yourself. And that comes when you stop and you pause and you think. Everyone is just a reflection of me. We are all one. We are all one soul. We are in just different physical bodies. Each of us have different knowledge and experiences and wisdom and information for us to share with one another. But we don't need to look and put anyone on a pedestal. We don't need to look as someone as a guru, someone to save us. You are your own savior. You are your own guru. You are your best teacher. You are your best healer. You are your best friend. You are your best lover. You are you. So be you. And if you don't feel as though you've found you yet, you have. You are uncovering more of you every single day. And you are loving and accepting more of you every single day, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. So remember to look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I am the one I've been searching for, and I'm right here, right now. And when you say this, if you might feel, some negative Nancy type of thoughts come up, be mindful of them, be aware of them. And then you can say out loud, hey, that's not my truth. And reaffirm to yourself that you are worthy of love, that you are infinite love, that you are the only person you need in your life. And know that every day, even if we feel like we've taken 5 steps backward, every day is a transformation. And just know and trust in yourself that you are creating such a beautiful path for yourself that you have no idea how much love, how much acceptance you will feel in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years. And for me as an adoptee, a lot of the holes that I felt in my life that I had, the holes inside me that I kept trying to fill, was, who am I? Who am I? Because if I don't know who I am biologically, then how do I know who I am? I don't need to know who I am biologically to be me. I am me just as I am. And for years, I felt that I needed to meet my birth mother in person, or else I wouldn't feel fully whole. I wouldn't feel complete until I looked her in the eyes, until I told her I loved her, until I gave her a hug and smelled her and touched her skin. But that was just a childhood fantasy of me looking outwardly for more of me. Everyone is more of you. They just might have a different face. They might have a different human body suit. But we are all reflections of one another. And we're all here to provide each other with more tools, more healing, more growth. But it's when we rely on that information coming to us, or that experience happening, that we push it away. So if you're a fellow adoptee like me and you have desired answers, information, I ask you, how can you fill yourself up more? How can you reaffirm to yourself that you don't need information about the health of your biological families, because your body is healthy, your body is strong, your immune system is strong? How can you reaffirm to yourself every single day of how healthy you are? And how can you reaffirm to yourself every single day of how worthy of love you are, how worthy of success you are? Our thoughts, our words, and our actions create our realities. So speak into the universe what you desire. And that starts with our thoughts. So if you are where I was, of, oh my God, how do I embody that affirmation? How do I actually feel as my 100% truth that I am who I've been looking for? I am. How do I do that? Patience, awareness, and reminding yourself every single day that you are who you have been looking for. And then one day, you will look in the mirror and you will fully believe it, because it will finally be your truth. Our society programs us to look outwardly. And I'm here to remind you, the only place you need to look is inside yourself. Every answer you desire is within you. And I'm not just saying that in a spiritual way. I'm saying that in a 3D realm reality way. Your heart and your soul have all the answers you desire. It's just a matter of peeling back the layers, unraveling to yourself, unraveling to your soul, feeling your spirit, and opening your heart to receive, that you will see it's all you. You are you. So be you. Because you are the only one you've been looking for. And today's share feels complete. So thank you for listening. And if you feel challenged by this affirmation, feel free to reach out to me. This affirmation has been a motivation for me the past 5 years to get to where I am now. And I'm so honored and grateful to be in a place that I do wake up happy every day. Even on the days that I'm crying hysterically, shedding layers and healing, doing the deep healing work, I still find joy. I still find happiness. I still embody so much love. And I have moved through a lot of having a bruised heart. And how do I open up to love again? How do I open up to trust others? And it really came back to every single time, how can I trust myself more? And how can I trust that everything is divine? That I wouldn't be exactly where I am today had I not gone through every single thing that I went through. And knowing that being in an abusive relationship, being cheated on, and being in a toxic entanglement, those were two of the most hurtful things, painful times in my life. But that's my medicine. I found the medicine in that through my deep healing. And that medicine is what I am sharing with you. The tools that I created and found to get me to where I am today are what I share with you and what I will keep sharing with you. Because they're the tools that I needed to move through what I moved through, to be right here, right now, in a place of true embodiment of unconditional love for myself first and for others. And it's not that I feel unconditional love for others 100% of the time, but I have practices that I keep moving through so that at the end of every day I am able to love and accept everyone just as they are, regardless of who they are, how they show up, what they do, who they vote for. I'm just able to love and accept everyone because I'm able to love and accept myself first. And getting to this place has completely set me free. Getting to this place has given me freedom and a relief that I can be happy regardless of partnership. I can live a happy, full, joyful, love-filled life regardless of being in a romantic partnership. And the past 22 months has been the work of me actually fully embodying this affirmation that I am the only one I've been looking for. Because I stopped looking for others to fill the holes I felt within myself. And you can do it too. And it won't necessarily take you 5 years or 22 months, but you can do it. It just takes recommitting to yourself every single day, practicing patience and loving kindness with yourself and others, and just bringing more awareness. Bringing more awareness to your actions and behaviors without thinking, oh, I need to change this. Because your mind and your energy and you will already change it just by bringing awareness. So I'm closing this out today. remember to take a look in the mirror. Actually, first thing when I wake up, it's a beautiful practice. I give myself a hug and I tell myself I love myself. And then I get up and dance. After I do some Reiki and some other rose pleasure, which I will be sharing on an upcoming episode. But I hug myself and I tell myself I love myself. I bring myself back into the 3D realm through prayer, through gratitude, and then I get up and dance. And when I get up and dance, I walk up to the mirror and I say, I love you. I love you for being you. And I love you for showing up today. And if there are times that I feel low in vibration or low frequency or whatever it is, I sometimes will literally do a selfie of myself just to look at myself and say, I love you. I'm here for you. And I accept you as you. So I ask you this week, how can you love on yourself more? How can you look inwardly more? How can you fully embody that you are the one you have been looking for? And that each of us that are in your external realm, that each of us are just icing on the cake. You are the cake. You're the one who bakes it. You're the one who scavenges for all the little ingredients. It's all your cake. We're just the extra sprinkles. We're not even the icing. We're just the extra sprinkles after the sprinkles you've already laid on yourself. I send you so much love. May you become more aware. May you open up to love yourself deeper. And may you open up to share your love more. You are the one you've been searching for. I love you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful week.